Hello guys, in this video we will add Tailwind CSS to our Next.js project. The project repository is on my GitHub and called Next.js Starter. The link is in the description. Tailwind CSS is a utility-first CSS framework. Rather than focusing on the functionality of the item being styled, Tailwind is centered around how it should be displayed. This makes it easier for the developer to test out new styles and change the layout. Tailwind CSS works by scanning all your HTML file, JavaScript components, and any other templates for class names, generating the corresponding styles, and then writing them to a static CSS file. It's fast, flexible, and reliable with zero runtime. Let's go ahead and add dependencies. Yarn add Tailwind CSS pre-tier plugin Tailwind CSS post CSS and out prefixer, and we'll put --dev here. Let's create file postcss.config.js in the root folder. And we'll paste the following and save it. In the root folder, let's also create file tailwind.config.js, and we'll put the following in there. In pre-tier RC file, we need to add the following line for Tailwind config. And finally, in global.css file, on the top, let's add the following: Tailwind base, components, and utilities. You also want to install plugin Tailwind CSS IntelliSense in your VS Code. Let's try to use Tailwind CSS classes in index.jsx file. Right here where we have the menu, we can remove the style attribute here, and we can just put class name. We have flex, gap 10, and you can see already we have our hints from Tailwind IntelliSense. PT4, which means padding top 4, text blue, let's say 500, and save it. And this is how you use Tailwind CSS classes. Let's make things a little bit more fun and customize Tailwind CSS. So in global.css, let's add Google Fonts right here. Also, let's add variables for colors. In Tailwind config.js now we can extend the Tailwind with our colors and font families. Let's use custom styles in index.jsx file. So we can go like so. And we can add font Quinto, and we already got a type hint for it, and text fresh. Let's update styles in counter.jsx file. So instead of this style, we can put right here class name. We can do flex gap 4, and we'll do padding top 2. Let's set the following classes to the buttons. Border 2, border fresh, px 2, and padding y we'll do 1. Let's save it, and we copy this class name to our other buttons. Okay, let's see what we got. Yarn dev, and let's open our browser window. Here at localhost 3000 we can see our app. So we have our custom color right here, fresh, and then we also have our custom font. Actually, looks like the font didn't apply, but we can look at this issue a little closer when we refactor our code. So now if we go to counter, we can see our buttons with this fresh border. Look kind of lame, but you know, we can see that the colors are there. Let's refactor the code. So in styles folder, we're going to create a base.css file, and we can put some styles in there from global CSS. Let's also create components.css file in our styles folder, and what we can do is put our btn class, and we can define it with apply method here. So border 2, border fresh, px2, and py1. We're using the same styles that we used for the button. Now in our global.css file we can import base CSS, and then under components we can import components.css. Let's save it, and we have an error here. So let's take a look at the components, and it looks like I just put an end here. So let's go ahead and resave it again. And it looks like we're in business. Let's go and change styles in counter.jsx files. So right over here with a class name where we have all our classes, we can change it to btn. Well, let's save it and see what we got. Looks like refactoring worked. It actually fixed our typography here, and we have our custom font applied. So initially we imported it a little bit too low in the CSS, but refactoring took care of it. So now if we go to counter page, we still see our buttons and nothing changed there. This is how you add Tailwind CSS to your project. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next videos.